No, I got a pretty nice world here. Looks really nice. There's a lot of this that hasn't been, I guess, terraformed or explored too much, but that's fine. I think this has been a long time coming. I want to actually show off the world a bit. You know, like a world tour. Well, anyways, hello everybody. It's DeanSpillaBean, back on your screen with another episode on the OCSMP server. I think it's like episode 24, something like that. But basically, this is going to be a special episode. It's probably not going to be too crazy, but it's just me actually showing off a big world that's been changed and adapted over the course of about 2 years? I think it's like 2 years. Only going off of me editing videos about 2 years ago, because that's about the time when I started making videos and also the server. So, yeah. If I check out my day counter, we're on day 0? What? Why is it on day 0? No. Why is it on day 0? Well, that's not right. I must have pressed a button or something to reset the day counter. Well, that sucks. Okay, last number I remember it was like 45,000 days being a thing, which kind of equates to, I don't know how long exactly. Or I think the actual number's around 60,000 or something like that. Realistically, that doesn't entirely matter, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. It used to have like 40,000. It literally just yesterday, and then it. Did I change? Oh god. Whatever. So first area is the first actual building that was on the server. Is the spawn base. It used to be a floor, and then someone put some walls around it, and then someone put a roof on it, and now we got the spawn base. It's got pretty much everything you'd ever need here, a bunch of resources just to get yourself started, basically. And does have an attic, although there isn't really much up here. As you can see, there's a barrel, doesn't have anything in it. Also got a wheat farm, sugarcane farm, cows, sheep, and some bees as well. So this makes for a... What? Why are you sparkly? Hardness 1. Okay, so that kind of gives it away. I do have data packs on the server. I don't have too many, but I mean, there are enough data packs that it's noticeable. Various vanilla tweak stuff. Also, Blaze Adventure Advancement, something like... I forgot what the title was, but there's basically a ton of advancements now. As well as technical enchantments to add a bunch of different enchantments to the game. In my last State of Dean, I kind of mentioned that I was thinking on, like, adding data packs to my world just to make it more interesting. Well, I did that. And now I gotta deal with it. I'm kind of interested in technical enchantments because it does add a lot of interesting things. I'll probably go into them eventually. Heck, I might even dedicate a whole episode to, like, actually getting those enchantments up and running. But that's for another time. Other things to show is the village area on this side of the map. There's like various houses made by people. There's a giant castle. It looks really nice. I know someone made this whole mountain an actual base, like with an interior. I don't feel like showing that off too much. But there are a bunch of nice houses just scattered around here. There's also what little of a trading center there is, where I've got my Dean's various assortment of beans shop where I just have stuff to sell, basically. I mean, I kind of like how it all looks, but and people haven't been on in a while. I don't blame them. It's kind of difficult playing Minecraft for a while. I'm amazed I even played on the server for like 2 years at this point. There's some other people's places down here. There's like a little campsite area here. I don't think this person's been on in a good chunk of time. Same with the other one that's been building around here. Although this one's base is a little interesting because it's all underground, or at least most of it is. But for whatever reason, they that made it a labyrinth to get around anywhere. There's an iron farm somewhere in there. I don't know the way to get to it. Oh, and another base is this birch house. If I don't land into it. It's like a pretty beautiful farm. Sparkles. Oh my gosh, why are they all enchanted? Egging dude. That's a little silly. But this area is a little special to me, mostly because of this very unique frog. It's a very nice frog statue that's made of copper, but very strange thing is that it hasn't aged in like a year and a half. Let's see, this is the never-aging frog. The statue's been here for months. It's at this point been over a year. None of them have been waxed. Update on April 3rd. One part is aged, which is that part right there. And if I pull up my F3 menu, look at the far right. It says exposed copper. Nothing about it being waxed. I mention this because this copper literally hasn't aged in months, except for that one part that only aged this year, way back in April, which is completely absurd to me because like I've been in this area a lot. Like my base is right over there, so I'm nearby it, but it just doesn't age. I mean, look, this copper has aged more than this one. This one got placed like recently. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Oh yeah, this is a flag that I made like I think of. Oh jeez. Go away. Go away, everything. Anyways, it's a flag that I've made like near the start of the server. I wanted it to look kind of like a fox. It kind of does. I keep thinking about changing it, but I never get around to actually doing that. Well, anyways, I think it's time to show off my base. One of the most notable landmarks on the server. It is a base that has been described as organized chaos, kind of with the whole server theme anyway, so this works out really well. There was no plan whatsoever in making this. I just kind of built whatever I wanted, wherever I wanted, and then I ended up making this mess. Oh yeah, here's the front door. To front door. Opens and closes on both sides. So that's pretty neat. I also got a little hatch to go through in order to basically get all the redstone circuitry. I made this all myself. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud. Oh yeah, I also got a resource pack that adds numbers on all the redstone bits just to make it easier to read. I think okay, I made some resource pack changes recently, and I don't think I've changed a few things in a way. Because like you might have seen with the zombie faces, they're not like the normal ones from I think Fateful. They're instead from Lithos. So there's definitely some stuff I need to adjust with my resource packs at some point, but I haven't been playing in a while. Anyways, Bob the Fallen One, naturally spawning diamond zombie that I just kind of found while I was here, and then I encaged him forever. So yeah, that's pretty neat. There's also storage here and there. I've also got this minecart deposit area. Oh, and the reason why I have so much leather. Why do I have a stack of copper in here? Stack of raw copper, goodness. Anyways, reason for so much leather. I do have a data pack. What? I got rotten flesh. Collect a stack of rotten. What? Huh. Oh, okay. I keep forgetting about these advancements. So, how this works... I don't think I want to use too much lava, but... Let's see, so if I put a stack in there, you see that it's actually smelting. Oh, day 1. No! The days did reset? Well, that's dumb. I swear it was 40-something at some point. Anyways, rotten flesh, I got a data pack that converts rotten flesh into leather. This is like a typical modded thing anyway, so it is really nice. These are the Omega Forges, or they're super smelters, that's what they really are. The Omega Forges in a different area. But basically, I put fuel in this back chest. There's hoppers underneath it that distribute it to these 2 minecarts. And then I got minecarts on the other end that when I trigger them, they'll send items to the furnaces, and then there's other ones that send fuel to the furnaces. And it's basically just a big smeltery. Although I don't use this model too often, because it's got a weird fault with it where it disables being able to put items into the minecarts while it's running, which kind of makes this whole system redundant. But I made 2 of these things with the sole purpose of one of these being powered by lava, one of them being powered by bamboo. And I never got around to getting the bamboo one working, so I just kind of dismantled most of it. But yeah, if I want to refuel it, push that, sends the minecarts through, gets all the lava back in. Then if I want to distribute items, just flip that lever, minecarts get sent off, and turn it off. You see how it goes. I'll talk about this minecart storage thing in a moment, and that ding dong. I want to show my stats. Okay, so really quick, this is the giant list of Dean's to-do list of stuff to do because I don't know what to. It is basically a list of things that I have an idea for and eventually will get to with various levels of progress, and well, I'll hopefully get these done eventually. You can pause and look at them if you want. Although 10 million uses of a netherite pick, that seems kind of absurd. Well, I am about 15% the way there, because I have like 1,480,000. It looks like it's 4 million. That's not 4 million. That's just the times crafted 4 number overlapping the 1. I just have over 1.5 million blocks broken with a netherite pick, because I dug a hole. And as you can see, blue means completed. I dug a hole. I have completed digging a hole. Any other important ones I might want to... airship and ocean base, I was thinking on making something like that at some point. A few other things here. Well, that doesn't matter too much. My stats, though, let's look at my stat. Here's a bunch of stats. I apparently did 1.3 million damage. Am I reading that right? No, just 139,000. Okay. Other stats, read them all. I've apparently jumped 450,000 times. More stats, more stats. Shulker boxes open 16.9 thousand? Excuse me? Did I really open a shulker box that much? That's insane. Items, most amount of blocks mined is stone, deep slate, sand, dirt, netherrack, kind of obvious, but you can kind of see the very high numbers. Most amount of broken things was an iron axe. I'm not sure how that happened. Then one's crafted, bone meal, polished deep slate, stone bricks, kind of goes down from there. Over 100,000 bone meal? Really? Did I really do that? I guess I did. Goodness. 68,000 sticks. I guess I really like sticks. I have used another I pick. The most amount of times 1.48 million. Kind of going down from there. Apparently I use snow blocks quite a lot of 54,000. That's for a very good reason, because I have a giant tower made of snow, which I'll get to later. And some other things no one cares about. Mobs! Bees! I have killed 16,000 bees, and a bee has killed me once. Why is there so many? I'll get to that later, but as you can see, here's some other stats. I've killed nearly 50,000 endermen. That's nice, I guess. I got an enderman farm in the end. Killed skeletons over 1,000 times. Skeletons are the bane of my existence. At some point I need to work with technical enchantments to get better enchantments on my stuff. Yeah. There's some stats, make of that as you will. There is a Green Trader here. What are you doing here? You sell blockheads? And that's kind of it. Yeah, whatever. You're scary. Hello, Jerry. Oh yeah, over here is a giant pile of various blocks that I just haven't organized yet. It's a lot of it's just building materials or just random blocks. So one of the center parts of my base is this mob grinder that is something that just goes really far down and basically just has a bunch of different levels for monsters to spawn on, and they get pushed in water and eventually just fall to their death. It's not the best system because it's kind of slow, but I mean it does get a lot of little bits of resources trickling in. If I go down to the chests, you can see that there's items in there. I think I emptied it out recently, so there's not too many, but as you can see, monsters keep falling in there and dying. This is also where I get a bunch of my records. I activate that, water. Eventually a creeper and a skeleton will survive the fall down here. And I just push back the skeleton, get the creeper low enough, creeper dies, skeleton kills it, and I get a record. Get so many of these records, I got too many of them. Also got clerics down here to trade a bunch of rotten flesh for useful stuff. Glowstone, experience bottles, redstone, blah 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 blah. Also got 2 massive bubble elevators that get me all the way to the top. Or down to the other various levels. They're very useful. So that's the first level. Up to the second one, of course there's the access to the furnaces, but I've also got an armory over here. It's got a few lava pillars, anvils, upgrade station. Oh, that's right, they changed how this looked recently. Okay, that caught me off guard. But also got chests here that houses tons of different armor sets and weapons, as well as me trying to get the best armor and tools here, or at least the best armor. I don't have a netherite helmet, I haven't had a need for it, nor have I actually found enough resources to do that yet. Anyways, enchantment setup. Here's my enchanting. It looks pretty nice. I kind of like how it looks. Got a chest with books in it, as well as the technical enchantment book, which, again, I might dedicate an episode to, like, working on this, because this seems like something I'd like to do. Like, one of the enchantments, let's see if I can actually find one of them. One of the enchantments, at least for a pickaxe, is Mining Plus, which allows it to mine in a 3x3 area. That is like a thing that's only in modded Minecraft, and I want to be able to actually mine in a 3x3 area. I mean, if you know me, I dug a hole on my own, kind of on my own. I had some help, but I've dug a giant hole without that enchantment on pickaxes, which is why there was like so many stats of my picks, because I dug a giant hole. It took me a month. I'd like to save time and not waste it when I want to do something as big as that, so Enchantments Plus. I've also got a little lounge area over here with a book. Interact with it. It tells the story of the hole. You can read it if you like, but it's basically just some fan lore that someone on the server made for, I think like backstory for me or something like that. It's a nice little story, so I just kind of keep it there. Also got a auto potion station here, where I have nether ore go into water bottles. Water bottles are back here. Nether wart on top ends up making awkward potions. Send the awkward potions over here so that it fuels these potion stands. Put ingredients in the top. Boom, potions. Also near the armory is a area or staircase to go out to a bridge that opens up to the outside and gets up to the top better. Oh yeah, over here is someone else's base, and I don't think they've worked on it in a while, but they were planning on making like a giant castle, which is why they like decapitated an entire mountaintop. But I know him, he makes a lot of really cool stuff. Up to the 3rd level, which is a interesting light and dark look. This is also where the dragon egg is being kept, so if anyone's wondering where that is, there it is. Kept in a secure container. No one can access it. Except me, obviously. So yeah, it's a really okay build, honestly. I'm using dark concrete to have the whole black effect, and then of course deep slate. Cool thing, whoop, bam. It's a door that opens with like a cool conveyor belt effect. Very much fan of this. It looks really nice. I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually use like the open fences to allow for conveyor belt setups like this. So kind of unique in that metric. Oh yeah, here's all the redstone insanity if you want to look at it. Yeah, you don't want to look at it anymore. Well, let's look at something else. Something else like my room. This is kind of... meow. This is kind of not really worked on too much because I haven't been here often. It's probably one of the more underdeveloped areas of my base, but I do at least have a bed. I got my dog, Midnight, the cat, another cat. Is there a wooden pickaxe in here? I don't know. A few other... nothing, but there's like some stuff here and there. It doesn't matter too much. But anyways, on the top of the whole build, I've got a map of the surrounding area. It goes about as far as 3,500 blocks out, something like that. I don't have it completed yet, obviously, but as you can see, there's the base. You can also see the village over there, some other things, but if we want a closer look, we'll have to go over to my observatory tower, which has a map of the surrounding area in much higher detail, if I can get into it. There we go. Anyways, here it is, the map of the surrounding area. I also took the time to put names of everyone's base, like everyone who's made the base, basically. So you can see all the different people's places. There is someone that's like further out here, but they're just out of range of the map, so I can't get them in. But there is someone over there. And going back to the bigger map, you look kind of close. You'll kind of notice that there's like a solid line along the map. That is not a map thing specifically, as you can see, but that is like an actual world generation thing. And if we look around, there are like a couple key features, such as the Land of Opportunity base that we'll go and investigate soon. A lot of ocean, there's deserts on the far right, and let's see, there's another base of mine that's on this area, but I haven't rendered that map yet. But I'll show that. Why is there an arrow? Oh! Well, I don't know what I expected. Anyways, that's kind of the top area. We'll go down one level to like basement 1. I don't know. Sugarcane, netherwort farms. Nothing of this is automated yet. Same with the bamboo, but I just go around and collect stuff. This is my first sugarcane farm, but I kind of abandoned it since I had like a crimson and nether crimson warp farms underneath. Farms as in I just grow and break blocks. And it kept growing through the ceiling, and I hated that so much. But over here is another central area of my base, that being the hole. And it goes down, not to bedrock, but it does go pretty deep. And along every side, or almost every side, there's some kind of door that leads to a room. This one, as an example, is the dripstone and lava farms. And there is something over here that I meant to store lava in, but then I made the bamboo farm over here, so I just kind of didn't do that. But yeah, it makes lava. Also got dripstone. Can go down to the bottom. I harvested that kind of recently, so it just drips forever, and eventually I get a bunch of dripstone like these. Very satisfying to do. That is a lie. Anyways, also got a pumpkin and melon farm, wheat farm as well. Continuation of the pumpkin melons, potatoes, carrots, and is this? Oh yeah, this was the entrance to a build underground. I'll show in a bit. Anyways, continuing on, here is the crimson and warped wood farms that I mentioned. But yeah, I literally just grow them and harvest all the parts. Also got the vines as an area. Got a vine farm here as well, in the form of vines just growing everywhere, and harvest that. Go down a bit further, and we'll get to a tree farm. Kind of the same thing. I just grow trees, harvest the trees, blah blah blah. But this is something interesting. Let's go down. Welcome to the bee sanctuary. Apparently, bees can also get enchanted. So, the Bee Sanctuary is a multi-leveled structure that has places for bees to be, including some enchanted ones, it seems. Not sure how much I like that. But yeah, this is where I get all of my honey, and this is probably my favorite build so far, just because of how multi-leveled it is. It's just fun to get around here. But yeah, I give the bees flowers, they create more bees, and eventually I get a lot of honey. Okay, I hope I have this on standby, but funny image. This is the result of a bug. So basically, what I could figure, I thought someone was like feeding the bees and multiplying them endlessly. Well, it turns out there was a bug that caused bees to duplicate in the form of when a bee dies, but the game thinks it's still in the hive here, and then I think it's when it dies outside, but it thinks it's still in the hive, but it doesn't die, and it is still in the hive apparently. So it ends up duplicating bees, and then you get this image. So that is exactly why I have over 16,000 bee kills, because I have killed so many bees. I think yeah, at some point it got so bad I had to use commands to like snap them out of existence. And even then it didn't kill them all, but it did kill a bunch of them. Oh yeah, there was one point when I thought, hey, maybe I could use this opportunity to like repopulate the world with bees. Well, what ended up happening? Of course, bees found their way over to the bee farms over there, which is really nice. But then bees just started amassing everywhere, and there was like hundreds of bees everywhere. It was an infestation, more like. So that was just unfortunately something I had to do to cull the reins, because it was starting to cause some server lag issues. Anyways, what is this area? Well, this is the underwater library. This is one of my more ambitious builds, and I'm not even done with it yet. I kind of wanted to make it last year at some point, like around September time, but as soon as I got news that bookshelves were going to be a thing, I'm like, oh, I can make bookshelves to store books in? That is like the item I need. I feel like I've said that a few times. But I'm thinking on next episode that I work on this world, I'm going to try and actually complete the underwater library. If you're watching this far and you're interested in this, do you have a story to tell? I'll probably write the story down and put it into the files, the archives, forever. It will forever be stored in history in this library underwater. It can't be set on fire. It's underwater. Also got a conduit over here that actually allows people to swim faster under here, swim forever, and just not die while wandering around. But yeah, the main idea with this is that you can just fly up to whichever level that you want to look into. So I might make this like a maze labyrinth of a library, which could be kind of cool. But yeah, at some point, I think in like a month or two, I'm gonna get to finishing up this build, because I think this would look cool. Cool idea I had with this thing, that's where the server world archives are gonna be. And the higher up you go, the more recent the information, the more down you go, the older the information. So you just end up diving down and in search for ancient knowledge. Well, anyways, time to go through this hole into the underground caverns. So these caverns are kind of cool. There's a slime. I keep forgetting that there's like a slime chunk here. But yeah, the underground caverns are kind of neat. Got caverns down there. Everything's kind of lit up. It's not as big as you might think, but I did try to have this railroad that goes all across the entire cavern. I originally planned for this area to be like an underground village, which obviously didn't happen, but I was going to use all of the railroads to actually get around the village. So now it's just a massive roller coaster course. This guy's been here since day one. Like actual day one, not like today's day one, which I'm still annoyed that even happened. Okay. Anyways, yeah, this is the zombie village. I've been there since day one, whatever. I forgot which episode exactly that I did this, but you can probably find it somewhere. It's a nice coaster. Although original idea was that I would have minecarts that would eventually get to this drop-off point, which would... Actually, I wonder if I can get this to work. I'm gonna put a grass block in, which that'll enable that, which then signal, which turns this railroad, which eventually, if that minecart comes down again... Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. It's almost there. Whoop. Okay, got an item. And and then it got sent back up to the top and goes up this spiraling railroad. And then it'll go up to that depository up at the top. So that's pretty neat. I don't think there's anything else specifically down here. There's like mine shafts of me just mining areas, but we don't really care too much about that right now. And that's also another way I get up. I think we got here faster than the minecart if we can catch it. Minecart? Hello, minecart. Oh, here it comes. Yeah. So then it goes into that depository, deposits items, off it goes. This was actually one of the first things I made in my base, and then I just centered everything around it. But I think that's everything in spawn. It's time to go explore some of the other areas. Anyways, in the nether, got a nether hub area. I didn't build this, someone else did. But if I go along this way, we'll eventually reach the village that we saw at the very beginning. And if we follow the sandstone road, eventually we'll get to this pigman. You, piglin? You're piglin, okay. There's a desert this way as well as the end portal. There isn't anything special over there besides like the Enderman farm. I think that's kind of it. There's also this bridge I made that goes to the Land of Opportunity. I forgot I added that in. So if we go that way, we'll get there eventually, but I don't have time. So we'll take this rickety old thing of a bobber to get over to the boat highway. So this way is the Land of Opportunity, and this way is to Fort Donut. If you've been around a bit, you know that Fort Donut's a bit of an error for me, so I haven't gotten a path to there yet. I mean, there is a path, but I haven't made it like boat-wise, whatever. Anyways, to the Land of Opportunity, because there's really cool stuff that way. Alright, eventually get here. First thing you'll notice, tower. It's a very tall tower that has a really cool entrance. You go in. It's powdered snow. The whole tower made of snow. Got snow from a nearby mountain. Anyways, this whole build inside has a mob grinder in it. As you can see, you can kind of see in there. Similar design to the one I have at base. Bigger. It's basically just bigger. Go down real quick. And down at the bottom is where everything's collected. As you can see, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. And I guess kind of neat thing, when I was digging down a lot, I ran into a mine shaft and I just dug around the mine shaft and it looks like this. There's various other caves that haven't been explored here too much, spawners that haven't been in use in forever, or don't even have a use coin yet. But that's like the mob grinder area. Also, beacon goes straight through. Pretty cool. It has jump boost on it. Why? Well, if you've seen one of my recent videos, you'll know that I made a gigantic jump course in the top of my tower. And the jump course basically requires jump boost to actually work. And we need to get up to this ladder. Climb up to the top of here. And let me turn off clouds real quick. There we go. Now we can actually see up there. But yeah, whole point, as you can see, 2 blocks. Boing. It's a 2-block jump. So it's a whole parkour course that's centered around using jump boost too. This took probably, I think, a month to actually build, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And I don't have time to actually get up to the top, so I'm just going to use one of the bubble elevators instead. And up we go, up to the top of the world. Feel free to look around. Which, it is quite literally the top of the world. I mean, it is actually a build height. I can't build any higher than this. Believe me, I would have built higher if I had the option. But over on top, you can see, giant hole. That's the hole that I was talking about earlier. Wow, I never realized how lit up this area was. Anyways, this is Farmville, and I'll show that a bit later. But first thing, this is another base that's nearby. Has a bunch of pumpkins and melons. That's what those are. Giant ice farm as well. It's not that giant, but I'm alive. It's not that giant, but it is just a giant ice cube that I can harvest whenever I feel like it. That just constantly prints ice. So So if I ever need ice, there we go. And below it is also a cactus farm. Why do I have a cactus farm? I don't know, I wanted to make one, and I've actually made one at one point. In which, down here, it's a cactus. It sure is a cactus. Sure is a cactus. I have too many cacti, and I don't know what to do with it. But if anyone needs green dye, I have the cacti for dye. I just made that up. So, other things, I've also got this storage base that has a lot more storage than my main base. It also has a bunch of ores that haven't been processed yet, in the form of I haven't used fortune on it yet. And of course, the big centerpiece of this area is the bottom. So we got a tower that reaches the build limit, and we have a hole that reaches bedrock. Both of these builds took like a month individually to perform. Why did I dig a giant hole? I don't know, I wanted like a lot of blocks. I will never be without stone or cobblestone ever again. Or I don't think anyone ever will. Surprisingly not a lot of ores. You'd think I'd get more, but not really. But these are the ores that I ended up with at some point over some period of time. So that's kind of nice. Some other... Well, don't care about that. Below the mining facility is where I store powdered snow. I have to store it in block form because I can't store it in buckets. I don't have enough iron for that. But if we go down onto this trampoline, boing. What is this thing exactly? Well, it's a slime farm. I basically got some slime chunks here, so I just kind of converted them to be able to be harvested for slime. Which that's pretty neat. I could probably make it bigger, but I don't really need to. On to the next area here. I'm sorry if that was disorienting. But here is the Omega Forge build. It's like the forges that I have in my main base, but a lot better. Anyways, how they work, kind of a similar deal. Pull the lever, sends minecarts out, distributes items to hoppers, distributes them to furnaces, turn it off, stops, put items in the chests, whatever, all gets distributed and smelted. All of them also powered by lava, which I've also got a lava farm over here. That's a bit bigger, and it has like, how many? Oh yeah, a stack of cauldrons over there, as well as another dripstone farm. So I put the fuel in the back, this chest here, send it out, sends it to all of these furnaces. Eventually everything gets cooked. Cooked and sent into this chest in the middle. Anyways, I don't think there's anything else specifically here that's like important to see. Except, of course, Farmville, which is where we're going next. So, Farmville. What is Farmville? Well, it is Farmville. It has farms around. There's also a village. I'm trying to get, like, villagers back in here, but it's been proving a bit difficult. I remember I spent some time and tried to, like, actually properly fence off the place, just so the villagers don't kill themselves all the time. I don't know if any are still around. They might be in their houses. So that's the village part of Farmville, but what about the farm part? Well, I got two separate things. One of them is a cattle farm, which just has cattle everywhere pretty much. I've got tons of sheep, I've got a bunch of cows over here, I got a bunch of chickens as well, and I got some pigs over here, even though I don't do much with... What? How did you get out here? Mr. Sheep, how is this possible? Tell me. You won't tell me. Is there just some way that it somehow got... You're the culprit. I'll probably deal with that sheep another time. But there's also the barn area over here that houses a ton of storage. That's kind of the whole idea with the barn. A bunch of potatoes, carrots, wheat, and sugarcane, stuff like that. Where do I get all of that stuff? Quite obviously, it's all of the farms that are over there. Also, I wanted to build this whole Farmville thing, like, right on the edge of the 32 chunk render distance. Because, I mean, there's the tower. Oh wait, I need to re-enable clouds. There we go. Now it doesn't look empty. So, in terms of what I actually get from here, of course I get a bunch of wheat. I have tons of wheat here. That was like the primary one. There's also potatoes. I've got more carrots over here. Oop. Let's see. I know I got beetroot up here as well. Some sugar cane. And if I go up here, got a bunch of pumpkins and melons. Not near as much as the other guy's farm, but there are pumpkins and melons here. I think that's kind of it in terms of sightseeing. And oh, wait. I almost forgot. 2 things over here. First off, the Great Divide is pretty close because I didn't move too much from my area. But you can visibly see the Great Divide. At first I was kind of annoyed that, oh no, it's going to be all corrupted, but then I kind of like the gigantic wall. I kind of like the idea of that. Second thing, and I need to go kind of fly a little far to get to, is Prismarine Farm, which is why I was able to raid an ocean temple. So yeah, ocean temples down there. So as long as this thing works, a bunch of... I should get out of the water. A bunch of the guardians end up getting killed by being sent to the nether. This isn't my design, this was from some like tutorial from like actually years ago, and I mean it's pretty effective. Like, just to show how effective it is, I do have a bunch of Prismarine parts. So I mean it does work, I don't need it to not work. Well, that's pretty much everything over at the Land of Opportunity. It's time to go over to Fort Donut. Alright. Wait, what? Only now do I get the subspace bubble? Oh, whatever game. I got a wormhole? Order for achievement. Oh yeah, I forgot advancements does give... Oh yeah, anyways, welcome to Fort Donut. I call it that because it's a fort. And it's a donut. Donut fort because it has like a natural wall barrier. If I go out here, I might be able to see it better. Flying out about here-ish. It is just a gigantic wall around this whole mountainous area. And then it's donutty because the center is hollow. So every location I have that's a base has some kind of a centerpiece. And this is no different. The centerpiece here is a giant door, and I think I actually upgraded the server or like changed some settings to actually make it not lag, so this is going to be the first time I'm going to run it and see if it works well. Okay, you know what? The settings I made actually do work. Everything's actually working nicely. But yeah, it's basically a giant door that opens and closes using redstone and slime and honey block technology. None of which I've made specifically myself, but I've just kind of used from random sources. I forget what episode it was, but I did go into detail on actually making that, and it also kept breaking. At some point I was like, man, I just need to redesign it. Anyways, storage facility, same thing. Storage of... There's the items. There's definitely items in here. Don't need to go into too much detail. Some more furnaces, another lava farm, because I kind of need those these days. I think it was just last episode that I actually made this storage facility completed. Kinda. I don't have enough storage over here, and I need to harvest all those blocks at some point. But also got a tower that just kind of goes up to the top, kind of spirally, and then it goes up to the top with... Yeah, I am now outside of the mouth of a beast or something. I don't know what this is. Also, dumb idea. I have no idea what to make for a theme, so I just put googly eyes on things. This one, I don't have any googly eyes, but it does have eyes, at least. The googly eyes. I forgot what exactly made me think of just having a giant gaping maw. Like, playing with shadows, I guess? I guess that's the main one. And other thing back here is basically a mine shaft. I have a bunch of wood that just platforms me to everywhere I need to go into this massive, massive, massive cave. It just keeps going down and down into the underground areas. I mean, I would go into detail exactly like how big this whole place is, but like everywhere outside of my base, there's probably a cave. Everywhere outside of my base, there's probably a cave that connects to a cave that connects to a cave that connects to a cave. So at some point you can imagine like a bunch of these platforms somehow linking to each other and
having some kind of a cohesive way to get from point A to point B, just going through the underground mineshaft system. Okay, is that everything? I think. It feels like I skimmed through a lot, but that's like, look, here's a cool base, here's a cool base, here's a cool base. That's kind of what I have so far. My plans at some point, I do want to have bases on like every cardinal direction 3,000 blocks away from spawn. So like the Land of Opportunity, that was 3,000 blocks south. Fort Donut that I'm at right now, 3,000 blocks north. I want another base that's like east and west of spawn, about 3,000 blocks. One of which is like the airship build that I mentioned, as well as a ocean base. I might combine the two, not sure. I don't know, I still feel like I'm missing something. Maybe it's like all of the years of history that's been building up to this moment of googly eyes. Well, I think it's going to be kind of difficult actually going over every single detail that went into every single block that was placed in this entire map. That's going to be extremely difficult. Any historical moments that might be kind of interesting? I mean, yeah, but I could probably save that for a different time. I mean, this is just a world tour video. This isn't like, oh yeah, the history of everything and anything all at once. No, it's not like that. Well, I guess there isn't much else to show at the moment. I'll probably work on this world for probably another year or so, get another base up and running, get some other stuff done. There'll probably be more stuff to show, like if I get my spawn base more sophisticated, more things here and there, finish the underwater library, stuff like that. Well, I think that's just going to end the episode for now. It might have not been like an actual full-fledged episode, but I've got like a bunch of other projects, schoolwork, a bunch of job. August and July have been very taxing on me, physically and mentally. I'm fine. I'm doing good. But yeah, I have stuff that I also want to do, so this was just a nice short video that I could actually make and still get out there. I think at some point soon, in like a week or two, I might make a Satisfactory world tour. It's not that I might. No, I will. I will make a Satisfactory world tour video in like a week or two, something like that. I need to make sure I get caught up with some other projects that I want to get a part of. Oh, is there anything else to talk about? Nope. I think I'm good. Well, anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, at least some amount, and you all have a good night. Bye-bye.